Well, good evening. This is Gina Tudela. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm located over here in Poolsbo, Washington, not far from Keyport Museum. And tonight I'm going to show you a technique that Arla shared with us yesterday when I went to go visit with her. She had invited all of us to come, and she shared us some gifts and ideas. So I'm going to share that with you, what she shared with us. I'll show you the technique afterwards, but we got to do an in color, because she knew I couldn't go, an in color sheet. So, got to do that, and one of the in colors, which is called Cloud Cover, is having some quality issues. So Stampin' Up's not selling the pad till it meets their criteria of quality. So, anyways, so those will be the new in colors. And then we got to create this card using the 5 new in colors. She gave us 5 strips and told us to do whatever we chose to do. And then, of course, she had the jewels that goes with it. So, isn't that cool? Anyways, and then we got to create with this. This is a silhouette stamp with a tree and a fencing in the background. And this is one of the new in colors, Secret Sea. It's almost like a charcoal black, but if you turn it into a glare, it also looks like a very dark navy. So it just depends on how the lighting is. Hello, Bee. Thanks for joining, my dear. And where's the other one? Oh. And then we got to create this tote. This is one of the ones that will be new in the new catalog. And you can be doing 3D. This is just doing with one set mounted on a card. And we could have done it in the green. I just went ahead and just did that because I can always do it later. I can pull it back up. But it doesn't have a bottom to it, so I cut that off. So anything I put in here is going to slide out. So you definitely want to close that up, but it'd be great for a gift card, or you cut out 2 of everything, and then you put them together and make it like a tote bag. That was cool. And then, of course, she gave us all a bookmark. This was part of the stuff that Stampin' Up! Always has. It's called like a memento mall. We're able to buy stuff that has their logo on it. So she bought these, and they're like bookmarks, magnetic. And then we were able to mark a page of our favorite stamp set in the new catalog. So we did that, and that's the ones that we got to create with that she had. So, and then of course we got a little notebook. Always can use this, especially in your purse to make notes and stuff. Oh my gosh, got everything sliding on me. Let me move this out of my work area. So, but then the last card we got to create with this turtle set that's got turtle paper. Anyways, so I made one. It's for the barbecue. Hooray for the summertime, right? Where it's nice and we can get to barbecue outside. And this is what a slider is. Most gatefolds you usually have to use a belly band. So somebody showed this technique on stage. And then Arla brought it back to us to share with us how to create with it. So, and then Mary mentioned about a shoebox swap this coming Saturday, and I had a paper pumping class, and a couple of the ladies already had something scheduled, so they couldn't do it, so we did it earlier. So, needless to say, I'm going to be going there to the shoebox swap this coming Saturday. So, thank you, Mary, for inviting us. So, anyways, so I'm going to show you how to do this. And then on the inside, it had that. And of course, there's where my other jewel went. I was wondering what happened to it. Oh, my goodness. It got stuck. There we go. Anyways, so I'm going to show you how to do this. And I'm doing 2 different ways. Okay, just got to make sure I get it on here. So you just slide it on either side, and it slides in, it keeps it closed. instead of having to make a gatefold. So, Arla, and there, if y'all see this, 2 3/16 is not correct. So, anyways, that's wrong. I was wrong on that. So, let's get started. So, the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to use 1/8. I will be doing one, so I'll show y'all that. But I had to figure out the right measurement because that's what we were all having trouble on Sunday. And then you turn the paper and you score at 2 1/8 again. And then it folds up. And then you may have to cut a sliver, which I did, so that way it has room to shimmy down. Because normally it doesn't. So I'm just going to keep this on the back side. So when I demo tomorrow and have it for my other stuff. So what you want to do is you're going to take a bounce folder and you want to smooth this out. Okay? And then you need, I use the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. This is in the online store. This is our basic beige. This color came in May of 2024. Hey, Linda. And then this is our pecan pie, and you need 4 of those. And this is the 2-inch circle. And this is the Woven Textures Designer Series paper. This comes in 12 by 12. And this is cut at 1 7/8. But first cut your long side at 5 3/8. And then turn and cut at 1 7/8 so you don't waste a lot of paper. That's important. So you want 2 of them. And then this is 4 by 5 1/4 of basic beige for the inside. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I don't like to glue it down because in case I mess up when I write. So I just do a little bit. I can always pull it up if I mess it up. So. And then you just center that as best as possible in the inside of your gatefold card. This is called a slider gatefold. Okay. Now, I usually turn this over. It's easier to mount your DSP. And I didn't bring my silicone mat in here. But that is a great tool, especially when you're using wet glue. And then I'm going to kiss my 2 pieces together. I want the lighter side. I've already created with the other side. So I want to create with this basket weave side. And then we're going to mount this. Oh, this should be smaller. Okay, Gina. All right, what did I say? 5 1/4. So on this one, where's my scissors? Where's my ruler? Yeah, buddy. This is where the silicone mat would have been in handy. I'm just going to turn it over. Okay. There we go. Okay, and I gotta do the same thing on this one. Turn it to the five and a quarter. Turn it. Oops. Don't shift on me. There we go. I don't think that's straight. It doesn't look straight. It isn't straight. It's off kilter. There we go. Alright. Make sure I have it both going the same direction before I go to mount it. Always remember to check that. Whoops. Lift up. That's why I use wet glue. It's easier to lift up and move it. Now I can flip this over. Okay, so yes, there is a gap opening, but you have to have that. Otherwise, the slider doesn't work. What I want to do is kind of smooth this down. And of course, I've got glue all over my fingers. Oh my gosh. Oh, I forgot to show y'all. She gave us a keychain, and everybody got a different one, and then a chapstick holder. And of course, she loves Vera Wagner. Vera, what is it called? The one that does the quilted stuff. Vera Bradley. I had to think there for a moment. So we each got to choose our favorite color of these that can be clipped on to grab something. So she got us each one of those. Alrighty. Now, so these are my notes, so I know what to cut for my class. Okay, I'll move that out of the way. So this is a 2-inch pecan pie. So what you want to do is you want to take 2 of them, and you're going to fold them in half. And this is important. You do need the bone folder to do that. Okay. There we go. Do the second one. Now, I recommend either the liquid glue or the fine tip glue for this. This is important. And try not to get too close to the outside edge. Okay. So what you want to do, you can do it like this. You can just put the glue on the circle, which is probably what I would recommend doing. Put on this circle. Okay? And y'all probably saying, oh my God, that's a lot. Well, you're going to kiss these two. I had you fooled there for a moment, right? Okay. Now, you're going to bring this inward. And make sure it's not hanging over the edge. It gets lined up. Parallel with the circle. Okay? And then you flip this one over. And you lay it on top. And it's parallel. And it can be any type of punch. Y'all probably thinking, oh, I don't have that circle punch. It doesn't have to be a circle punch. That's why I brought in 3 different sizes. So that way you can see it. So now you see this? And then here's this. So see how that is? And that's what's going to slide. Now this is for my sentiment. So let me show you this so y'all can see that. So you're going to slide this in and slide this in, and it just slides right down. Isn't that awesome? Right? Oh my gosh. I don't want to close it because I'm going to use it. So I'm going to bring in a leaf, and I'm just stamping it in. Oh my gosh, I didn't bring a brown. I just brought the Memento Black, but that's okay. I'm not going to glue it real hard. I can change it afterwards. So, and this hasn't been inked up, so always remember to ink up your stamp first before you stamp. Now I'm going to stamp this on here. And then what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue here in the center, because I want to stamp it in pecan pie, and I forgot to bring the pad in here. But the black will look fine too. But just to give you an idea. Because this way. So there is the first one. Isn't that cool? Wait till I show you the next one. Alrighty. So now we're going to go on. Yeah, isn't it? It is cool. Thank you, B. Thank you, Linda. Let's go on to the next one. The next one is with this beautiful DSP paper. And this is called The Lovely Garden. So you want to look at your paper to see which way is right, and this is the right way. And of course I had to bring in this beautiful berry burst cardstock. It goes great with that. And of course I brought in a white that we're going to stamp this saying, and then we're going to cut it down and put it on top of the garden green. So the colors all go together. And I could have used the crushed curry too, and I didn't even think about that, but that's okay. Anyway, so let me give you a heads up. This is another 5.5 by 8.5, and this one I'm going to show you how to score it. Okay. And I want to see if this paper is right length. Nope. So before I get any glue on it, so this is supposed to be 5 1/4. So depending on the size of the card, depends on this. So where is my, oh, here's my scissors. Okay. I'll probably say, okay, I'm going to just line it up and cut just that portion off. See, I could have done that earlier, but I had glue all over it, and I don't want to do that. I'll move that out of the side. So let's bring in the Stampin' trimmer. Okay. And the Stampin' trimmer has two. It has the light color is the scoring blade, which is what we're going to be using. The dark one is the cutting blade, which we're not using. So you always bring that down and out of the way. So on the 8.5 side, we're going to bring this paper in, and we're going to score it at, do my notes, 2 1/8. And if you're not sure what 2 1/8 is, it's 2 notches past the number 2, because each notch stands for 1/16. Okay, so we're going to go right past, there's 2, we're going to go 1, 2. And if you have a hard time with that to see it, take yourself a Post-it note, okay, and you mark it, like I'm going to show here. This has got writing on it, so I apologize. But we're going to mark it right there. Well, I want a plain one. Be fine. This purple one will work. It's not plain, but it's wrote in shimmer silver Sharpie, so you just want to make sure it's straight. And so then that way you have a guide, and that means that you'll stop. You won't go no further. So if you have a hard time when it comes to scoring, do that. Use a Post-it note. We're going to score back and forth a couple of times. Then we're going to flip the paper around and do it on this side. Now flip over, just turn it around. Let me say the words right. Turn it around. So when you take it out, you just take your paper and turn it, not flip it. I said the wrong terminology. And that makes a difference because some people will get confused based on that. So now we're going to go ahead and move this cutter out of the way. And when you score, you fold towards the center. And there's the gap. And that's perfect. Now we want to use our bone folder to make it nice and firm on both sides. And I usually flip it over and do the same thing on the back side. Same thing when you're doing packages and boxes and 3D images. So now we have our inside piece, and this is just basic white, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to do the same thing. I don't put glue all over it because in case I don't want to decorate it with a verse, or I want to write a message. If I mess up, I can always, it's only a small amount that's being pulled out. up. And then I can always go back and re-glue it all the way fully. There we go. Now, we want to mount our paper. So I'm going to do it like this. We know this is a top and this is a top. So what you do is you look at your paper, and we know that this is a top and this is a top. Now I'm looking at the paper, how I cut it. There we go. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to mount that with our wet glue. I moved it over here. And so you can use the green side too. You don't have to use a floral side. I love how our DSPs have two sides of the paper. So this is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. I am pretty sure. I'm going to get my ruler and measure that. Because, yep, 5 1/4. Okay. Now we're going to put our glue on this piece. There we go. And I could have kissed them. That's all right. I showed you that on the first one. Okay. Now, of course, I twisted because I've only got a little bit of glue in the center. Okay. Now we're going to close that up. And that kind of shows a bigger gap. But that's okay. It's all right. So here is the wide. It's called the modern oval punch. Like I told you, it doesn't matter which punch you use. But this is the one we're going to stamp the saying in. So I punched out 4 of the garden green and 1 of the basic white, which we're going to stamp an image on. So we're going to stamp, the saying is going to be vertical. So we want to fold these vertical. Okay? So I'm going to fold 2 of them vertical. And this takes a little bit of time. You want to fold 1 more. You're going to do the same thing like you did on the circles. You got to use the bone folder to make sure we got firm creases. So that way it lays nice and flat. This is so important. Okay. So keep in mind that is how they're going to go. And now we're going to put the wet glue on one and kiss the other. There's the wet glue. Now bring this out. And I know it looks like I'm using a lot, but we're not, because remember, we're going to kiss it. Kiss it too. You press around. Don't leave it there for long, because it will glue together. Believe you me. So I'm going to bring this in. And then I'm going to bring this one in and make sure they are horizontal with each other and even. You shouldn't see any edges hanging over. I'm going to flip this piece over. There we go. All right, now we're going to, I got glue on my fingers. Now we're going to, I'm trying to move my Post-it notes out of the way. I have glue on my fingers. Now we're going to stamp this with the word Hello Meshu. And we're going to stamp that in black, which is Memento black. Okay, I had a pad out here, but that's not the right color, so I don't want to use that. So we're going to ink this up. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's supposed to be this one. Oh, wait a second. I wanted to use just a note. Okay. Hey, Roman, this is in there in the bathroom. This stamp right here. Would you go get it? I grabbed the wrong one. Oh my gosh. I needed just a note. It's in purple on the bench. Please. While he goes and gets that, I'll just clean this off. Wrong one. That's a faux pas. Most definitely. But we can slide this while I'm waiting for him to get that. Just to show you. Wait a second. Let me get this out of the way. There it is. I was trying to see what the opening is. Alright. Sometimes you have to kind of work with it a little bit. When it's stark like that. There we go. There's that. There's that. No, it looks like this. It's on a clear block. It's photopolymer, not red rubber. Sorry, honey. Okay. Isn't that cool? So it just shows you can use any of the punches. What you see, I'm going to use the last one with the heart punches. Yeah. But I don't know, I didn't have enough time to check to see if they're in the online store because they weren't in the book. They weren't in the annual book. That's getting ready to retire. Thank you, sweetheart. So we're going to use this one. Okay. And this is stained. Whenever you use reds and purples and pinks, it does stain the photopolymer. There's no other way that's not going to not happen. And this is the stamp set that goes with this modern oval punch. There we go. I'll let that dry for a moment. I usually check and make sure that it's not still wet. It's dry. Now, this is the one I told you I was going to take the scissors and just follow the line because I want some of that green is showing. We don't have two sizes of that punch. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, creating is an art. No two things are supposed to look alike. Similar, but never exactly alike. There we go. Almost there. There we go. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and add the glue onto that. There we go. Go. And then you can add some embellishments and stuff too. But I'm mainly showing the technique tonight. I didn't bring any embellishments or anything. I just kind of wanted to show how to do this cool technique. So, now we're on to number 3. And this is with that lovely bee paper. Cute as can be. So, yes. So this is a landscape one. Okay? The other ones were portrait. So now we're doing a landscape. This is important. So, the paper is 4 1/4 by 11. I always like to show both ways because that way people have a variation. And the measurements aren't always the same, so that's why it's important to show both ways. Okay, so when we score, I scored it at 2 3/4 on the 11-inch side, turned it around, and scored at 2 3/4. Okay? And this is our basic black. Move this on the back side. Then you want a piece of basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. Actually, I'm going to glue this one all the way down. Because I know who I'm going to send this to already. Okay. And we're going to place this on here. And just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Center it best as possible. Okay. Now what we want to do is take our bone folder and make these creases firm. Okay. And so it needs maybe just a smidgen trimmed off of one side. Not much. I'm not perfect, y'all. Just to let you know that. So sometimes I don't fold straight. But I could see it. A little bit more up further. I can see that. There we go. Awesome. That's perfect. Now these are measured at 2.5 by 4. So you would cut a strip at 4 inches, then turn it and cut it at 2.5. So that's how I did that. So we're going to go ahead and add some of this Tombow multi-purpose glue. Love this glue. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this one on. And there is another variation of a V stamp set that's in the online store that goes with this paper. This paper's new. It's in the online store. And then here is the other side. Remember, this is 2.5 by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Okay. So I used, where's my yellow one? Did I drop it? Oh no, here it is. So, you know the duos heart punches that we had? I don't know if it's still in the catalog or is it on the online store. I'll have to check. I didn't get a chance to look that up, so I was running short of time. You want 4 of the black scallop ones. And it doesn't matter. You can use dies. Don't have to be punches. So if you've got dies, okay? And then I use 1 crushed curry. So the crushed curry is going to be the inlay that goes up on top. Okay? So you're going to fold 2 of these in half. Like I said, it doesn't matter what punch you do. They all work. Whatever punch you have. So remember that. You're going to fold 1 more. But you do need to have 4 of them. 4 is the key. Because 2 get folded in half. And the others 2, one's the front and one's the back that holds them. Okay, so let's use a bone folder. Smooth that out. Smooth that out. Now we put the glue on the big hearts. Don't try to do it on those half hearts. You'll have it all over your hands. Don't do that hassle. This is easier. Believe me. The whole key is work smarter, not harder. My sons tell me that all the time. And kiss those 2 together. Then take those back apart. And line that up with the scallop edge. This is a little bit different. It's not a straight edge, so you got to take your time. And then do the same thing on this one. Okay. I don't think I did the back side of this. And then we'll flip this one over. And then that covers that. There we go. I'm just going to go across them. And then we're going to do this like opening up the wings like on a butterfly. Same thing on the heart. And we're just going to slide that in. Okay. Let's see if that works. And so if it doesn't want to slide, you may have to trim off a little smidgen. And I may have to do that on the other side. It looks like that. So this side has to be trimmed up just a touch. Not much, just a smidgen. Just like a... Y'all see how thin I'm cutting that off. There we go. Like I said, a smidgen. Okay, now we're going to slide this back in, and it will work perfectly. Yep, there it is. I'm just going to smooth that. There's that. And now let's stamp our message. And this states, "You make my heart buzz." Yes, indeedy. Thank y'all for watching. Definitely need to use liquid glue. Yep, B, you're right. Or the little fine tip glue. Or Yes Paste. Some people have the Yes Paste too. That's what I used to use a long time ago. Okay, so let's get this stamped first. Okay, wonderful. And this one will go great with having some little hearts put on there. They're jewels, which I have. And always add your embellishments whenever you want to. So, and now we're going to put the wet glue on the back, but I want to make sure that that's dry so I don't smear it. Pick that up. And there it is. I got glue still on my fingers. Make sure I put a jewel there because I got glue on my fingers. There we go. Come on. Yeah, it doesn't want to come up. I'll put a jewel there. Or a bee. I was trying to get those bees and they were not available at this time. But there it is. Isn't that cool? So let me bring them back in. There's the bee one. Cute as can be DSP. Lovely Garden Designer Series paper. And the Woven Textures designer paper. It doesn't matter what designer paper you have. Let me show you. This is so cool. So much fun. And that's what I'm doing for the shoebox swap. So I will see you there, Bee. Because Mary said you and Bunny were coming. So anyways, enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to share with your friends and reach out to your personal demonstrator if you have any questions. And those of you that do not, if this has been shared to you and you do not have one in your area, you're welcome to reach out to me. But usually I share this with my downline. That way they can share it with their friends and their customers. But thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. I'll see you back here next Monday at 7 p.m. Bye-bye.